Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Thursday, September 5th, around 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. A massive backside CME. Take a look at the halo eruption. Halo! Obviously shot directly away from Earth, but there is a big sunspot brewing on the backside of the sun. We also have a hurricane showing up, slamming into the East Coast in September. Keep calm. It's boom time. The father of the alleged Georgia school shooter, Colt Gray, has been arrested this evening and hit with murder and manslaughter charges, according to officials. According to the officials, the father had purchased the weapon for his son just 7 months prior to the school shooting. Are you tired of rain? Some portions of Florida could see up to 12 inches through the weekend. That is quite a bit of rain. In fact, it's insane. Let's take a look at the map here together, shall we? We'll blow it up here, give you a better look. The entire region here in orange could be picking up to a foot of rain. It's insane, I know. But there's going to be massive amounts and massive rain totals for the southeast through the next week. Governor Newsom lifts drought declaration for most Californians, yet measures remain in some areas. We don't know why. California is one of the best states as far as drought is concerned. We have limited pockets of severe and extreme drought throughout the continental U.S., but the Great Lakes region looking fantastic, the Northeast, the entire East Coast and all of Florida, and most of the West Coast now out of severe drought. What a change of events. Just 5 years ago, global warming alarmists were claiming that the drought would never end in California, and they couldn't have been more wrong. Ding dong. The first snow of the season falls in Colorado mountains, including several ski areas, Arapahoe Basin, Keystone, and parts of Rocky Mountain National Park saw snow, but in Metro Denver, weekend temps could hit 90. Grand solar minimum much? And another huge faux pas, the hurricane season was supposed to be busy. One of the busiest ever. What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. They were wrong. Often this time of year, it isn't uncommon to see 2, 3, or even 4 named storms occurring simultaneously. But on Wednesday, there were no current storms, and there hasn't been one since Hurricane Ernesto formed. That's just A, B, C, D, E, 5 storms. In a season, they predicted 26. Can you believe that? We haven't had a named storm since August 12th. This quiet spell, this significant, has not been seen during this part of the season since 1968. That was back during the Ice Age scare, according to Phil Klotzbach, a researcher of hurricane activity at Colorado State University. One of the weakest hurricane seasons since 1968. Let that sink in. Yeah, 57 years. That is a record. And yes, folks, it has nothing to do with you. Natural climate variability. Currently, we have 4 potential disturbances, none of which are showing any chance of formation above 30%. And where do you think this storm is going? Up, up, and away. Here's the full forecast. Heavy rain and flash flooding potential along the central Gulf Coast. Excessive heat across the west. Heavy to excessive rainfall will continue along the Gulf Coast through Friday. A moderate risk of excessive rainfall is outlooked along the central Gulf Coast today, where scattered to numerous instances of flash flooding is likely. In the western U.S., a late summer heat wave will continue through the weekend. Here on the GFS model, we see that potential hurricane smashing into the East Coast here sometime in 15 days, but it's so far out that probably won't materialize. What will materialize is this tropical storm entering Baja in a week. So heed the warnings if you're in Baja. We could be seeing some spicy tropical storms in just about a week. Now, with the heat wave continuing in the west, if we move this through, take a look at how cool the rest of the country is going to be moderating here through the first week of September. The entire East Coast, many states will be in the low 40s and maybe even reach the 30s. It's going to be quite cool in the East with more record lows day after day through mid-September. A September to remember. So we will move the GFS model through, and you can see that continued moisture along this strip in the southeast, which is going to continue that threat for flash flooding all weekend, even into next week. Take a look at that. It's going to be ongoing continuously for over 10 days in Florida. The rain will seem like it will never end. Ever. How do you like them apples? Now, it's not just our ski resorts here in summer getting snow. Southern hemisphere is getting buried. Snow in Argentina and Chile are currently being pounded as the UN calls for global red alert despite clear and obvious natural forcings. And you know what that means? Yeah, it's not your fault, folks. Seismic update. Most recent quake just kicking off here at M5.3 in Indonesia. Worldwide, low-level activity. We have some mid-ocean ridge activity here on the Reykjanes Ridge at 5.5. But overall, low-level activity, including a 4.2 in Greece. Worldwide volcano news for September 5th. Fuego to 15,000 foot, Sabancaya to 22,000 foot. That is nice puff right there. Reventador on the list. Here we can see the Svartsengi eruption on the Reykjanes Peninsula. The eruption remains steady with no ground deformation detected. That's bad news. That means this baby's going to be going on for some time. What this indicates is equilibrium of magma supply to and from the reservoir. And here we can see August 28th, August 29th, August 30th, September 1st, as the magma field continues to grow at a steady rate day by day. Here we see a Svartsengi updated hazard map as well. And remember, folks, all the links we talk about will be linked below in the description box. You can see here that the most dangerous area is this zone 3, which is right on the fissure, right in the zone of where the eruption is occurring. We've got Abeco on the list to 10,000 foot, Nevado de Ruiz, 21,000 foot puff, Swanosima on the list, 4,000 foot puff today. You can literally see White Island puffing and passing from space, 4,000 foot puff there. Fuego to 14,000 foot, continuous explosions at Liwatobe Laki-Laki in Indonesia, as you can see here, a great picture there. Semeru, who knew? Now you do. 13,000 foot puff today. Nevado de Ruiz, volcanic ash. Sabancaya to 23,000. Fuego to 14. Swanosima to 8,000. White Island to 4,000. And Ibu on the list, 9,000 foot, 14,000 foot at Semeru. Who knew? And that wraps up Worldwide Volcano News for the 5th, as the first volcanic eruption comes in for the 6th. Quick look over at space weather. Let's take a look. Last 24 hours, weak at best. Minor M flares, no CMEs headed towards Earth. 3-day geomagnetic forecast, all calm. And we do have sunspots. Just sunspots that are not doing much of anything. But the backside is a different story. Another large Farside CME has been observed. New data courtesy of the ESA Solar Orbiter shows that the large CME observed earlier today was the result of a solar flare reaching at least X2 level. And here we can see the telemetry there from the far side of the sun, an X2. Who knew? Well, now you do, and we're even going to watch it. Boom! That is all the data we have in so far, but a spectacular halo eruption indeed. And this gives you a good idea of what a halo eruption is. When there is a ejecta in 360 degrees, and that means that a flare is either coming directly at Earth, or in this case, being pushed directly away from Earth, which is good news for us here on Gaia. Now, yesterday we told you about the 9th meteorite that had been spotted before it hit Earth. just the ninth meteorite. And in fact, shortly after the show, it did hit Earth at the exact location they said it would in the Philippines. And we do have video of that bolide that we will show you now.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Wow!
Wow! Oh my gosh! Beautiful Filipino bolide. Now, a bolide is simply a meteorite that reaches extreme levels of brightness. You know, anything brighter than the moon would be considered a bolide, and here, lighting up the entire night sky, clearly a bolide. And just the ninth bolide ever detected before hitting Earth. Now, for over the last year, Leah and I have suggested that the removal of ship tracks in the Atlantic is the reason that the Atlantic sea surface temperatures have spiked in the last 2 years. And now a paper coming out, peer-reviewed on the 12th of August of this year, has reducing ship emissions brought forward global warming. Well, apparently it has. We'll leave you links below, but ships brighten low marine clouds from emissions of sulfur and aerosols, but the 80% reduction in these quote-unquote fuel sulfur-rich content ship tracks have actually warmed the sea surface temperature. Not only that, they have induced a net radiative forcing of plus 0.12 watts per square meters, which is heating the atmosphere as well. Analysis of recent temperature anomalies indicate the northern hemisphere surface temperature are correlated with observed cloud radiative forcing, and well, the rest is history. It's not you, it's not CO2, it's the sun. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share the video. We are shadow banned, and we need your help to grow the channel. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. Watch all of our podcasts in one place, commercial free, for as little as $1 a month. Click on one of our affiliates like the Alliance of Native Seed Keepers. Support your preparedness and support the channel. But most importantly, be safe. We love you, and we'll see you all at Crestone in just 11 days.